Good day, everyone, and welcome to HE107, Adult Education in Homemaking. My name is Rhea May B. Ancheta, and I will be discussing today characteristics of non-participating adults in education. Adult education, a practice in which adults engage in a systematic and sustained self-educating activities in order to gain new forms of knowledge, skills, attitudes, or values. It can mean any form of learning adults engage in beyond traditional schooling, encompassing basic literacy to personal fulfillment as a lifelong learner. Adult education, also called as continuing education, is in any form of learning undertaken by or provided for mature men and women. In a 1970 report, the National Institute of Adult Education in England and Wales defined adult education as any kind of education for people who are old enough to work, vote, fight, and marry, and who have completed the continuous cycle of education commenced in childhood. Let us look at the characteristics of non-participating adults in education with the following aspects: age, gender, educational attainment, and socio-economic background. Characteristics of non-participating adults in education. The International Audit Literacy Survey, or IALS, nationally representative samples of adults aged 16 to 65 in 23 OECD countries has found that older age groups had lower participation rates than younger age groups. Particularly, adults aged 16 to 25 were on average about 3 times more likely to participate than older adults aged 56 to 65. These findings suggest that as adults get older, they are less likely to participate in adult education. Some examples of adult education are the following, but are not limited to: vocational, technical, and professional competence, health, welfare, and family living, civic, political, and community competence, self-fulfillment, and remedial education as fundamental and literacy education. So as people age, they get more engaged on other things such as work, schooling, other than such programs. Findings of previous research are quite mixed when participation in adult education comes to gender. According to the IALS, there is no statistically significant difference between men and women in adult education. However, the average participation rate of men was a bit higher than women. Women's low participation is mainly resulted from family burdens and lack of financial support. In this case, women are more likely to engage in their roles in the family than of participating in such programs. Educational attainment is determined as the most important factor in predicting participation in adult education. It is known that those with higher levels of educational attainment participate more in adult education programs. The IALS showed that there was a clear relationship between previous educational attainment and participation in adult education. Specifically, the participation rate was 57.6% for adults who completed college or university education, while it was 15.5% for adults who did not complete high school. Reason of low or non-participation of the less educated can be explained from perspectives of individual and employers. Individual point illustrated that low self-confidence regarding the learning, which mainly derive from previous bad educational experiences, could be a major obstacle for the less educated. Apart from low self-confidence, those less educated might not perceive their need of participation or might not actually have a need to participate. Yet, employers' view was apparent that they tended to support high-educated because they were more trainable than the low-educated. Therefore, the participation of the less educated was low since they could not get promotions from their employers. They would think, why should I try when it wouldn't lead me anywhere? At last, adults who come from a better socio-economic background tend to participate more in adult education programs. The OECD data show that higher parent educational level could produce the higher participation rate. In this case, since they are more into better socioeconomic background, they have more time, better education, and more financial assistance from their parents or from their family to attend adult education programs. Thank you so much for listening. Once again, this is Rhea May B. and Cheta, and these are my references. Have a good day.